Hey guys, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to be learning about Google's worldview. And by the end of this lecture, I want you to have an understanding and a perception of what Google is trying to do with its search results in terms of what it returns back to its users. Now, what is Google's worldview? Well, it's something that I think, or something I believe I've coined. You may find it around the web, but it's not something that I've researched or looked up. It's not something that I've seen people term and talk about, but I have seen people talk about the same concept and reflect the understanding that I have on and what I'm going to teach you here. So, what is Google's worldview? Well, it's what I believe is what Google is trying to do with its search results and what Google has become. I believe that Google has now become more of a recommendation service than a search engine. Now, what do I mean by that? If you go up and research by yourself, Google would always say, we want to return the best results for our users, and we want to be able to do that in a way that we think they are intending. So when they search for something, Google wants to interpret the search that you make or someone else makes in the best way possible and return to you results that they think you are looking for. Because if they don't return to you really good results, you won't be using Google anymore. And that is a big reason why people say they don't use Bing, because they look for something and it returns them something that is completely unrelated and is just not really good at returning great results like Google is. Now, I don't want to discredit Bing, it's just my personal opinion, and it's the opinion of many other people who have used Bing and who decide not to use Bing anymore and stick to Google. Now, the best way to teach what I'm trying to say here and get you to understand what I'm trying to say is obviously to demonstrate. Now, what do I mean by Google's worldview and what I've said previously at the beginning of this lecture? Well, I think that Google is now favoring big brands because or popular brands or authoritative websites, and it certainly does this because we will talk about this later in when we talk about things like Google Raters and your money or your life um, concepts when it comes to websites and web content. Now, when Google says it wants to return the best results to its possible users, yes, it's dependent on each keyword because each keyword is dynamic, but most of the time it actually means a reputable source. And this is a fact, and Google even says this. So um, let's demonstrate what I'm trying to say. So simple search, burger. Okay, everybody enjoys a burger, whether it's a meat burger or vegan burger. So I'll type in burger. Now, I guarantee you here, we would see a popular brand in the organic search results. So let's ignore this other stuff at the moment. So we're scrolling down, we've got a Wikipedia page, we've got BBC Good Food Guide, Burger King, there you go, a very big brand of burgers. Burger and Lobster, in the UK, where I am, it's a very popular brand. Honest Burgers, again, it's a very, very popular brand. So this demonstrates and proves what I'm trying to say, that Google favors big brands and its world search view, or in terms of what I say is Google's world search view, is to return reputable brands to its users. Because if it returns a website, for example, that doesn't even make burgers, it just talks about burgers, or it doesn't even talk about burgers as you and I know it, or most of the world knows it. It's talking about completely something else. It could be talking about snails, and it return websites like that to its users when they search for burger. You are not going to be really happy, and other users won't be really happy. They're going to think, what's this? This is rubbish. Now, let's go back and again further add evidence to the claim that Google's worldview, or what Google is trying to do, is return reputable results and big brands to users. Here, beef burgers, BBC Good Food Guide, very well known recipe website. TripAdvisor, a global website of user-generated content in terms of traveling and in terms of uh, things to do. Um, it's a very reputable website. Tesco, massive retail brand of groceries in the UK, and it's got a recipe subdomain, a recipe section of their website. Again, big brand. Just Eat. If you want to order a burger, you can go to Just Eat and order a burger in your if it comes up in your local area. So again, as I said, it's favoring big brands for this search. Now, let's try another search. Let's say running trainers men's. Okay, I've got auto suggestion here. Now, if you're in the US, you may be calling it sneakers, but in the UK, we call it trainers. Let's hit enter. Now, I'm expecting to see Google return well-known brands, and here you go: Nike, Adidas, massive sports brands. They're conglomerates. They make so many different types of sports equipment and clothing and gear, you name it. But Google and obviously running trainers or running sneakers, and Google recognizes that, and it's returned massive brands, as I've said. And if I go back up, you can see a result for Sports Direct. Okay, now Sports Direct are a big brand in the UK for sports equipment or retailing or sports clothes. If you want to buy trainers or sports equipment, you can pop into your local Sports Direct or go on their website and find something. JD Sports, again, they're massive. Okay, um, uh, Pro Direct Running, very popular, as is sports shoes. Okay, M Man and I can't really pronounce that. Man D M Direct. Okay, I know the brand. It's really popular. I've actually bought things from there as well. And the last result is Amazon. Okay, so yeah, it's returning well-known brands. And even here on the right, we've got a knowledge panel for Nike Revolution 5 Men's. What we can talk about what this is here in other lectures. So let's try another search. I'm thinking of software now. So web design software. This is obviously an area that is related to us as SEOs, as the website is our domain. So let's scan the results. Let's ignore the ads. So here we've got Tech Radar, a very popular tech website that does reviews and opinions and announcements. Here again, we've got Website UK. This is popular, and it's reviewing web software products. Webflow. This has become a very popular web design software out there on the web. It actually brands itself as not needing to code anything. You can design a website off the fly without requiring a developer. WP Beginner. Again, this is a WordPress brand or website that is very popular in terms of talking about WordPress CMS, as I've mentioned in previous lectures. And here it's got an article or a piece of content talking about the best web design softwares. Adobe, obviously massive brand. They create all sorts of digital software. The most popular one is obviously Photoshop. So again, you can see how Google has shown big brands in its search results for the search term web design software. And because it believes from this search term that someone is probably looking for web design software and it wants to return results to its users that are reputable. And it doesn't want to let you down. It doesn't want to show you a website that you and I may have put up about web design software, and actually when you go on the website you can't actually buy a web design software, or you won't even find web design software because you haven't created one. The website hasn't got one. you know, it's just created it for a bit of fun. Now, that's what people used to do in the past. It's something called Google bombing or Google whitewashing, where in the past people have created websites and got them to rank for terms that don't relate to it, or the website is nothing about it. Okay, for example, um, people in the past you created a website all about George Bush. So if you typed in the word monkeys, Google will return to you this website about George W. Bush, the second George W. Bush, the one who was in power in America more recently. Now, if you go and search up the term Google bombing, you can find out about this more on a Wikipedia page. So in the past, it was possible for someone in their bedroom to create a website about running trainers and compete with the likes of Nike and Adidas. But now that's not really possible. Okay, and it's a further evidence of what Google is trying to do in terms of its worldview, and that it's become more and more of a recommendation service than a search engine. And just to add more fuel to that argument, when you find a product, you don't really say, "Oh, I got it from that company." You say, I found it on Google." And it's the same with Amazon. If you buy something from Amazon, you don't really remember the brand of the product that you bought from its marketplace. You just say, "I got it off Amazon," um, because that's the biggest brand that's in your mind. That is, you think you've got it from Amazon, the company, but in reality, it's a company that is part of Google's market place that sold you the product and the product that you've bought it from. Um, so yeah, you know, that's what I believe Google's worldview is, and it's something really important for your career as an SEO, because you may be working on a website, or you may join a company as an SEO, and they may be a very small company, a very obscure company. They may be a startup, and they may say, "Hey, we need to rank for this. Why are we not ranking for it?" They may question what you're doing as an SEO, but you as an SEO need to show the bigger picture and say, "Hey, actually, you're a trainer or sportswear company, or you're a software company, but nobody actually knows about your brand. Nobody's critiqued it. No one's really using it. So it's going to be really difficult to rank up against big companies and big boys before we, you know, get the brand really popular. And that's one of the difficulties in SEO, showing the people above you what SEO actually is and what it means, because a lot of people out there, a lot of business owners out there have got an old school opinion of SEO. And at times, yes, you can say it's an incorrect opinion of SEO. But you as an SEO, as an SEO professional, as someone that is thinking about becoming an advanced SEO professional, you need to demonstrate your expertise and show them that what your opinion is, and prove it, so you get more respect as an SEO. Okay, guys? Keep on watching. There's more to learn, as I always say.